Bagley. Here. Ms. Bailey. Present. Ms. Franklin. Mr. Hardy. Ms. Hayes. Ms. Holmes. Here. Mr. Canatonis. McLaughlin. Ms. Mensing. Here.
Fairfax.
Ms. Robinson. Sizemore Heiser. Here. Mr. Stork.
Here.
Ms. Vasquez Luna. Present. Dr. Young.
Thank you, Presidente.
Madam Chair, we have four.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Are there any board members who have requested to participate remotely? Oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted to we can skip the pledge, but we're gonna get to a second.
Mr. Stewart, I'm sorry, Mr. Stewart.
Is there anyone that wants to participate remotely? Okay. All right, with that, let's all rise for the pledge if you're able.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dallas, if you could do our safety moment?
Sure, good morning. It's been here in this room before. I've made some assignments in the back of the room. Should we have to exit the facility, follow the lighted exit placards. Raise your hand in the back, CPR and 911 caller. Chris, if you could be our runner, if we could kindly close the doors hereafter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dallas. And for those of you who are new joining us today, you'll learn that VRE culture is a safety culture. And we always have this conversation at the beginning of our meetings. So thank you, Dallas, for going over that again. With that, I'll move on to the approval of the agenda, which everybody has had a chance to review, which is previously circulated. Is that a motion?
So moved.
Thank you so much, ma'am. There's been a motion and a
Sorry,
second.
sorry for being eager.
No, I love it. I love it. So there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion regarding the agenda? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the agenda is approved. Moving on to the minutes from the December 19th meeting. They've been previously circulated. Does anyone have any corrections or amendments? Hearing none, I would take a motion.
Second.
Thank you. There's been a motion by Dr. Young, a second by Supervisor Bailey. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Thank you. Any nays? All right, that motion carries and the motions are accepted. The minutes are approved. All right, welcome to the first operations board meeting of 2026. It's lovely to see you all here and to see so many new faces. I want to welcome Fairfax County Braddock District Supervisor Rajna Sizemore Heiser. Thank you for joining us. And Prince William County Gainesville District Supervisor George Stewart. Good morning, Mr. Stewart. Thank you for joining us. Please don't bring this traffic with you next time. This was your arrangements. Hopefully everybody has a smoother time next month. The executive committee met earlier this morning. Keep your ear out to our future chair for any additional comments about that schedule and how we're going to work that moving forward. With the start of the new year, we also have a new slate of officers for the VRE Ops Board. To my left, Andrea Bailey of PRTC will be taking over the role of chair, and I'm very excited about that. In the role of vice chair will be Dan Stork, supervisor from Fairfax from NBTC. Our secretary will be Ms. Lori Hayes from PRTC, who unfortunately isn't able to be here today, but has served on the board for many years now. And our treasurer will be Ms. Janet Holmes from PRTC. Very excited to have a new member of the exec committee, as well as our adjunct at-large member, Ms. Sonia Vasquez Luna from PRTC. I will continue serving as the immediate past chair. Thank you. Before I turn the meeting over to our new chair, Ms. Bailey, I've been given a moment here in the notes to reflect on sort of my year as chair. It's not in the notes, and this is where all the staff sort of cringes and goes, oh God, she's going off script. But I'm going off script because I do want to express that What I do have in front of me is a script that is dutifully put together by staff. And that's a huge part of what makes this job possible. All of us who have chaired meetings in our respective jurisdictions are probably aware that the work that goes into making these meetings look as easy as hopefully they look and are. And so I want to first just pause and express my appreciation to all the staff members who contributed to the scripts that I had before me every month and to the prep that I was given and the review. Please continue to support my colleague in the year ahead in the same manner with the same level of diligence and thoroughness in these scripts. Having it said that, I want to comment as well. All the support I got from all of you this year. I think I ran a meeting like 3 days after surgery once this year, sitting here with stitches in my arm, and everybody was very accommodating and supportive. And I really appreciate that. And all the responsiveness that I got this year from my fellow board members to lots of texts and calls and emails and requests for your time. Want to express my appreciation on that. Want to reflect on, we obviously have the retirements of both our CEO and our CLO, and that asks a lot of everybody, including myself, but especially, but everybody else here in this room. And I want to thank everybody who gave extra time in this past year to that process. I hope we all learned a lot from it. I know I did. I learned a lot about the organization and the industry, but also about how to do that. I also was really proud to lead the board at a time when we are really seeing Transforming Maryland, Virginia coming to fruition, and some VRE projects that have been in the planning phases for years now being in the building phases. It's a very exciting time to be a part of this organization, and getting to hold a shovel in my own backyard and it was a thrill. And I will sort of always be excited about the way that worked out, that the Alexandria, King and Commonwealth bridges and the station, the fourth track sort of happened on my watch. Yeah, and that'll be exciting. I'll be on the train again later today and can't wait to sort of continue to see those improvements happening. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the work. This will also be Dallas's final meeting as the acting CEO. And I know Ms. Bailey may have comments on that as well, but I want to genuinely express my appreciation to you. I want you all to know Dallas has done a phenomenal job in what was not an easy period to be an acting CEO. Mind you, we stood up these changes to the schedule under Dallas's watch. The Long Bridge construction project has started under Dallas's watch. New train, first time in 10 years. And he has been incredibly professional and dedicated. I was texting with him earlier this week from a train, getting updates. So I just genuinely want to take a moment and, for all of us to acknowledge that role and And the last thing I'll say, if I can indulge a moment, is I want to remind the group, and Mike McLaughlin is very good at pointing this out, and I'm glad good morning, thanks, I'm glad you made it here, is this is a special board in the regionalism that it represents. I mean, all of us obviously serve locally, and we probably serve as well on a few regional boards of various types, but the geographic breadth and the diversity of constituencies that this board represents is fairly unique in the Commonwealth. You don't find things like this, throughout the Commonwealth, and people working together from different sides of the aisle, more rural, more urban, and just the range of differences that we bring to the table. And yet we are incredibly collaborative. We learn a lot from each other. And I really feel that we set an example to the rest of the Commonwealth about what really functional regionalism can look like. And I encourage us to really keep that in mind, especially in this year that we're trying to pass substantive transportation funding legislation at the state level. We're going to have a key role to play in that conversation, each of our jurisdictions and each of you. And so I really encourage you to remember how it feels in this room and remember how it feels to work together and how we benefit from moving our constituents, through and to our related jurisdictions, because we all sort of rise together. And I'm sure Ms. Bailey's will lead us to the next phase of that. But that's something I really love being a part of, and want to, again, close with just my thanks to all of you for being a part of that and setting that tone. And let's continue in that way and continue to set that example moving forward for the rest of the Commonwealth. So with that, I am honored to ceremoniously pass the gavel to Miss Bailey.
Oh, thank you.
And it's sort of anticlimactic, but there it is, folks. I do think we're going to do a quick photo real quick, if that's all right. Miss Bailey.
Well, I guess so. Yes.
Do we
Are
want
you
to?
ready?
Gavel into it itself.
Well, yes, we can. Yes, we can. We'll bring the gavel on. But before I do that, this is kind of a gift from the board and an acknowledgement of your great leadership. You've been an impeccable chair to work with and to follow. You know, it's not always easy to follow some leaders, but you've been impeccable. We have had great opportunities on this board under your leadership, and we accomplished all of them and accomplished them with the level of excellence that you brought to the table. And so, and to compliment of our wonderful council in the back, welcome again. We've had some opportunities. When you say, Dan, we've had some opportunities. We've had some opportunities that was not the norm, if you will, on these boards. And so, but we've done great in making sure that the VRE board, along with the wonderful staff, the impeccable staff that we have, the work has continued. And so with that, this is the certification of our appreciation for you. You're going to get double gifts because you're just that wonderful. And it's presented to you in recognition of your outstanding leadership, dedication, and service as chair of the Virginia Railway Express. Through your commitment to public transportation excellence, strategic vision, we collaborated with the vision of the staff, and steadfast stewardship. You're a great steward of what you do. Sarah Bagley has made a lasting impact on the writers, of which she is one, partners, and commitment served by the Virginia Railway Express. VRE is what we're commonly known as. VRE, we can shorten it. Her service exemplifies integrity, collaboration, dedication, and might I add, respect to the Commonwealth of Virginia. With sincere gratitude and appreciation from your board, it will continue to be your board, our board, Virginia Railway Express. On behalf of the new chair, that's what I am, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because you are.
And with that, Chair Bailey.
Well, no musical chairs yet. Not yet. So thank you. I'll never say too much. Vice Mayor Bagley. I'm excited and honored to serve as this year's chair. Thank you to my colleagues for imbuing this wonderful responsibility to me. And I look forward to continuing to the great work that this operations board has to do. I'd like to thank Ms. Bagley for her exceptional efforts as chair this year. She led the boards through many accomplishments, and I just want to remind you of what they were because they were exceptional. The opening of the Manassas Park garage, big deal, huh, Sonia? Finalization of the Manassas Line funding agreement, reinstatement of the Amtrak Step Up program. That was a very big deal. The advancement of numerous capital projects throughout the systems aligned with transforming rail in Virginia. And with her monumental effort leading the CEO and CLO search committees, we did a great job under Sarah's leadership. On behalf of the operations board, I would like to thank you for your hard work and all that you accomplished during your tenure. As Ms. Bagley mentioned, VRE is entering a period of transformation, one that I am very much looking forward to seeing. So we got to be nimble, but we got to be quick. We have projects underway all across the VRE system. Alongside transforming rail in Virginia, the future of rail in Virginia is set to dramatically change and serve more people more often and importantly, safer and more efficiently. We just had a discussion about that this morning, but Dallas will enlighten you. I also am hopeful that in the upcoming year, construction of the Potomac Shores platform will begin. George, know anything about Potomac Shores? Okay. Okay. I also am looking forward to welcoming our new CEO, Ms. Katie Cho, to our family, who will be in her role next week. So Katie will be here next week and in our next meeting. We'll be doing a lot of great work this year, and as many of us know, committees are key to the operations board's success. Yeah, they are still here. Next month, I plan to make assignments, so please put your thinking caps on and your commitment hearts and decide where you want to be. If you'd like to change your committee assignment, please let me know in the next month, but before the next month's meeting. I would appreciate that. And there, I understand that there is a slide that is there already. Thank you very much. So with that, thank you for your support in advance. Just want to offer for those of you that were not in the executive board meeting this morning, it's okay. It was very good and flowy, but there will be another one next month, and I will get with my staff and Leslie and Trinette. We'll get together and decide how the communication is going to flow for that. But there will be, just know that there'll be an executive board meeting prior to this meeting every time we meet, unless it is canceled, and we will inform you of that. Okay? So with that, I'll pass it to our Chief Executive Officer for his report.
Chair Bailey, thank you for that. And members, thank you for your time. Honored to be here. First and foremost, safety report. I want to report on our days worked with controllable injuries. I just want to point those two on the left. Our mechanical teams, both at Broad Run and have exceeded 10 years. Safe work, injury-free environment. That is remarkable in any industry, but especially the railroad industry. I remind you, these are what some consider dangerous chores, like burning, welding, grinding, lifting, coating, moving, all the sorts of things in the shop that are very difficult to do, but and then moving trains as well. So over 830 days for one of those teams as well. We're getting back to ordinary with 288, but again, no accidents, injuries, or incidents in the last 4 weeks. And reporting on time performance, again for December only. I'll talk a little bit about some other segments here in a moment, but good news to report, 87% on time performance. You can see year over year, month over month, what that looks like. In reporting, you know, for the month of December, we had 80 system-wide, only 11 minutes average delay with an on-time performance of, again, 87%. That means, you know, you get on one of our chains, there's almost a 90% chance it's going to be on time. And if it's not on time, your delay is probably going to be 11 minutes or less. So it's a very important track record. Only one train more than 30 minutes late in the last month, which is a very good measure as well. So that's improving, and average minutes delay is also improving. The on-time performance, we look at the causes. You can see the ones highlighted there. I kind of prefer this graph a little better. It tells the story. Again, it is largely due to train congestion, largely due to Amtrak trains out of slot a lot of times, unfortunately. But that is part of the system. You can see that report here as well. Looking at average daily ridership, we actually had what we could be considered an uptick in the month of December. Of course, October and November were off significantly because of the shutdown that lasted until that first week or so, week and a half into November. But we have bounced back to what I'd consider normal for December, at least measured versus last year. I'd like to be a little higher, but there we are. Average daily ridership, it shows slightly less than November, but only because the number of service days in November, which was 17 days versus the 21 in December. Sort of a math piece, if you will. I do want to introduce, if you would kindly stand, Antonio, our newest employee, Antonio Thames. Antonio has joined us as our new facilities maintenance working closely with Eric, who's also in the back. We're very happy to have Antonio, who is actually an Alexandria resident as well. So already in his first week, he's been a big help in getting to know the ropes. So Antonio, welcome from all of us to you. So thank you for being here. Next, I just want to take a beat here and talk about the Long Bridge service changes. I've got 2 slides here, sort of pre and post, if you will. Prior to Monday, we had spent basically starting announcements broadly December 12th, full month prior, and then for a month doing those kinds of announcements to passengers. And the week prior, in order to make sure everyone got the word, we had a blast, whether it be, we had folks at the platforms sort of showing, demonstrating here on the left. We had VRE personnel, and thank you VRE personnel and some of their consultants as well out on the platforms, informing folks of the changes to come. We did a social media blitz, thanks to our team for putting that together and getting Instagram, Facebook, all of the platforms that we could use. And then on the right, you'll see what we call the seat drop. So we had literally a Post-it card with a QR code that got them to the information. So literally there was no way you couldn't know if you'd ridden the train or been anywhere in front of a cell phone or a radio, you would know these things were coming. So a lot of our passengers were well informed. Obviously, there's always a few who didn't maybe get the word, but we got all of that out. This slide may be a little difficult to read, but this is important for us to know. I want to talk about the impacts this week we've seen. I only have 4 days of data to share with you. That's Monday through Thursday of this week, and I will offer that 1 week does not a trend make, but I want to make sure that you saw what we're looking at. You remember we stood up train 330. Oh, there we go. Train 330 is the new train that was stood up between what used to be 28 and 30. And you can see what's happened here, a 251% increase in that train. What I've done is I compared the second week in December, which would be the week after we stood up the new train, and this week with the service changes. So this is just the AM service, but it shows the percentages up and down on each of those respective trains. What we expected to happen happened. What we didn't expect is the magnitude of the happen, right? And so a lot of people shifted from train 312 and 314 up to 310. A lot of people shifted from 332, 334 up to 330, which is kind of what we expected, but it's been a very large amount. Right now, that train 330 is carrying a quarter. One train is carrying a quarter of the ridership on the Manassas line. So it's a lot of people. There's also something else that was expected, anticipated, if you will, but perhaps the magnitude is because those people are going in earlier, they're all coming back a lot earlier, some of the more significant areas. So we've seen a big uptick. I have the same graph for the data for the afternoon service as well. So trains 327 and 329 are also heavily loaded, very heavily loaded. You may remember, in order to stand up train 330, we patched together equipment from other trains and reduced the overall length from 8 cars to 6 cars on several of them until we have enough equipment to make up a 6-car set for new train 330. That has proven to be difficult with the capacity because what we're doing in the Alexandria Shuffle is passengers on both Fredericksburg line and Manassas line get on in DC, get off in Alexandria. 2 of those trains are exceptionally full. On Tuesday, we had a service disruption due to a CSX freight train at Crystal City. It was difficult, to say the least. And because of that, one of those afternoon shuttle trains was also delayed, which means not only were we putting 2 train loads of people on it, because as people started to arrive for the subsequent train, they got on that train as well. So we had 2.5 or 3 times 3 train loads of people, if you not times, but 3 train loads of people on that one train. It was standing room only. Now, pre-COVID, standing room only was a normal thing, right? It's not unsafe. They're designed for that. It is unfortunate it happened that way on that Tuesday. We are making provisions now to add cars back to at least one of those 2 afternoon trains. And that is far more complicated than you might think. You know, what train goes in as an 8-car train, which train comes out as an 8-car train set. You have to add a crew member when you go from 6 cars to 8 cars. So it is not an easy thing to do. But it is one of the adjustments we plan to make next week, starting Tuesday. Been working with Chris Henry on all of this. We literally have been timing the exchange passengers at Alexandria we are looking forecasting. So as we make changes to the station at Alexandria, what impacts might that have? So just wanted this team to know. One last piece that is important is the on-time performance. And it took a hit this week because of the shuffle. So what is normally for us, our dwell times are exceptional in the industry, right? We have dwell times of about 90 seconds, 2 minutes or less is very common. With this exchange of passengers for the Alexandria shuffle, it's upwards of 8 minutes. And we can watch it on the screen. We have people there watching it and timing it. And so that has increased that time. And therefore, and can't always make up that time between Alexandria and Broad Run or Alexandria and Fredericksburg, right? So we've seen an uptick on the on-time performance largely due to that and the congestion that's coming with the shuffle. So we have to occupy 2 tracks at a time in Alexandria. To get in and do that, it's creating a lot of congestion. We are working on ways to mitigate this, I promise you. We had a good plan, I think. We did anticipate some of these changes, but the specifics and the magnitude are pretty big. So we're working through it. Yes, Dr. Eden. Madam Chair, there's a question.
Madam Chair. Oh, I'm sorry. Sarah. Yes. Congratulations,
Yeah, thank you.
Chairwoman Bailey, and thank you for your service, Vice Mayor Bagley. It's tight tongue here with the B's. Thank you for that report. I just happened to open up my email and I have this email. I'm not gonna read it, but basically, the complaint was about the Crystal City afternoon. I know you mentioned Manassas, but this one, they're saying, you mentioned that it's not a safety hazard, but this person is saying that the VRE needs to add more cars to the trains. Lack of cars creates a safety hazard with so many people standing and creates a stressful environment. I know of numerous people who are saying that they will no longer ride the VRE due to the situation untenable to continue until 2030 this way. So I'm not sure what specific train numbers they're relating to. You mentioned 6 to 8 cars. It is big. And you also mentioned that it's not, they're built for that. But if the people are feeling that it's unsafe, how are we going to let them know that, hey, we're working on it?
We are receiving that message as well and have offered some comments in return, some response. But increasing the number of cars will alone improve that situation, right? And we're looking at which trains we actually do the shuffle with. It's a complicated, sort of algorithm of which trains will be the shuffle trains. Right now, we chose to do, in our current approach, we chose to do the earlier afternoon trains as the shuffle because historically they were less occupied and there was less problems with traffic congestion, train congestion. Now we're looking at, do we use the later trains in the afternoon to do the shuffle instead because they're lower ridership? So that will help a lot in the sense, and more cars where we can. So again, we're 4 days in, 5 days in now, 5 days this afternoon, looking at that and evaluating each one of this data tells us which trains to do that with. Until we had this data, we weren't sure which trains would be the ones the most heavily impacted. And that's what we're doing now, evaluating which trains need more cars.
So this is something you all were already aware and was working on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Excellent. Any other questions? Yes.
Just the mechanics, if you want to change the consorts and add cars, subtract cars, how do you work with Keolis? You just say, here's what we want to do, and is there so much time you need to give them, and what's the mechanics of that process?
Short answer, yes. We work closely with Keolis. So we have a daily operations call every day after morning operations. We talk with them about the previous day's operation. And there's always an open door policy. They're here with us today. They're always present, always available. One thing that we've done is that what they call the TMs, the transportation managers, are part of the staff on the ground at Alexandria, helping to relay directly between the crew and dispatch. So we have that very close connection. And I would offer, Mr. Stork, that they're also the pieces where we store those trains. Like, it's not just that you're 8-car set. Can we put another 8-car set at Broad Run? Can we put another 8-car set at Amtrak at Ivy City, right? It's a complex algorithm, again, of where to put those pieces middle of the day, where to put those pieces in the evening. And so we're looking at evaluating all of those now, because historically that would have been a 6 or a 7-car set going one place or another. Now you're shifting where that consist is going. So yes, very close conversations with our friends at Keolis, but also Sarah's here representing, our yard faculties and what we have to do in the yard.
It's the lead, so tomorrow you want to change that, or you need a week or a month, or how's that?
It depends. In this case, we're given until Tuesday. It's just a few days to get that worked out. In the case of like when we stood up the new train had to be bid out because it's union labor. That had to have like a 30-day notice for that shift in who's going to be doing which train. Typically, historically, they've been very nimble and very quick to respond. And in this case, it'll be just a matter of days.
So adding a couple cars and adding an additional employee for that, pretty much in a day or two, you can do whatever you need to do.
Week or less, I would say a week or less. And that's where we are right now.
Any other questions? Okay, Dallas, thank you so much for the report, and you've been exceptional. I just want to note that again for the board.
Thank you.
Thank you for your guidance.
Thank you.
Yes. So next we'll have public comment time. So for our new members and for our returning members, VRE accepts public comments both in person and electronically via the VRE website. Members of the public wishing to make public comments have 3 minutes and should state their full name and jurisdictions, where they live, and written comments before 8 a.m. this morning to be forwarded to the members of the board and attached to the official minutes. Do we have any members of the public where you'd like to express your concerns to the board in the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, Trinette, do you have electronic submissions?
Madam Chair, we do not.
Okay, we're rolling right along. So next, we are going to go into our action items. And the first action item is action item A, 11A.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes.
the VRE board, operation board is asked to recommend the commissions to authorize the VRE chief executive officer to submit on behalf of the commissions an application to advance the construction of the VRE station and fourth track improvements project at LaFont to the U.S. Department of Transportation for funding consideration for the better utilizing investments to leverage development, the build discretionary grant program, to make any necessary corrections to the project amount or descriptions in the application and execute all project funding agreements that may result from consideration of the project.
So I'd like to entertain a motion for that.
So moved. I haven't got to make a motion.
Will there be a second?
Motion to prime.
Oh, my goodness. There's been a motion for approval and a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Okay, seeing none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, moving right along. Item 11B.
Madam Chair, similarly, the VRE Operations Board is asked to recommend the commissions authorize the acting CEO to submit on behalf of the commissions a VRE application for the design of the Broad Run lead track to the FY27 I-66 outside the Beltway funding program to make any necessary corrections to the project amount or description in the application and to execute all project funding agreements that may result from consideration of the VRE application.
Wonderful. And hearing the report, I'd like to entertain a motion for this item, please.
I make the motion, Madam Chair.
Okay. Is there a second? Absolutely. Any questions on this item? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Next, item 11C. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The VRE Operations Board is asked to recommend approval and authorization to execute a capital projects funding addendum with VPRA for the Alexandria King Street Station pedestrian tunnel project.
Okay,
You may remember we had 3 of these last month, and this is a similar one in nature, just amending the agreement.
and he reminded us to expect it in this meeting. Absolutely. I'd like to entertain a motion, please. Second?
Second.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me, any discussion about the item? I don't want to assume. Okay, All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Item 11D.
Madam Chair, the VRE Operations Board is asked to adopt the 2026 VRE Operations Board meeting schedule outlined within the 2026 VRE Operations Board meeting calendar as provided in the meeting materials. Shown on the screen.
The number. There's 10, that's all.
Is it 10 or I've got 11? Okay, so we're rolling right along. Okay,
Excuse me, I have a question on the
Yes.
calendar for December. That 18 is in yellow, it says proposed date in June. What does that mean?
I believe that means, so the 19th is a federal holiday, and we didn't want to, that would be, the board meeting would normally be on the 19th as the third Friday of the month. But instead of having, because of that holiday, we move it to the following week, the 26th. Juneteenth is on the 19th. Instead of having, it's a federal holiday. Wouldn't have the board meeting on the third Friday because it's federal.
okay. Okay. Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
It's been properly moved and seconded for the item to be approved. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? So, yes, yes,
I'm just, I'm noting at the bottom of the identifies committee meetings for February, June, finance committee, February, June, October. Will you be looking at that? And I mean, should we just assume that those are the dates that we'll have the meetings, and will they follow the meeting itself? This may be premature. As part of the conversation, as part of your review of this for the next board meeting and the appointments, maybe take a look at how you want to do the committee meetings and specific days or months.
absolutely. Yeah, I will be entertaining
Chair.
that. Yes, Les.
Those are the traditional months that we aim for. When there's a chair of that committee, they can discuss it with their staff liaison on changing those dates or adding meetings or what, but those are traditionally, functionally when we have those meetings. So it's not set in stone.
Okay, okay. And the other thing, Supervisor Stark had brought it to my attention, the item numbers that's on my board member script and what's on the website, they're different item numbers. So Yesley, if you can enlighten us later on that as to why that is, just so that we're clear on it. Okay, yes. So we have completed all of our action items in respect to what we have to handle today. I want to say to the welcome newer members and to the returning members, these action items for your review will be sent to you in advance by Leslie to make sure that you're prepared for today. So don't think that you don't know nothing, you know everything. Okay, just wanted to say that. So we'll move on to information item 12A.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Spending Authority report on September 18th, basically the rules about Operation Buller approved increasing CEO's delegated spending authority to $100,000 to $200,000. And then my report on these spendings, 3 items, $113,000 roughly for VHB for Woodbridge Station Master Plan, $82,800 for custodial services with Fresh Air, and $79,000 for 22 new fuel pumps. Which I will point out those were sole source purchase because of the nature of that.
Are there any questions for Dallas? Janet, did you? No, just a report. Okay. All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. We're gonna move into our closed session. And Mr. Stark, are you prepared, please? But before we do that, do we need to have?
They're leaving now. As soon as he reads us in, we'll be leaving.
Okay. Pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, section 2.2-3711.A, 7 of the Code of Virginia, I move that the VRE Operations Board do a closed session meeting for consultation with general counsel regarding probable litigation, where such consultation open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating and litigating posture of the Operations Board.
Second.
You're probably moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What's the roll call?
Yeah, roll
Okay, please.
Ms. Bagley.
Aye.
Ms. Bailey. Aye. Ms. Franklin. Mr. Gordy. Ms. Hayes. Ms. Holmes.
Aye.
Mr. Karantonis. Mr. McLaughlin.
Aye.
Ms. Vincent.
Aye.
Ms. Robinson. Ms. Sizemore Heiser.
Aye.
Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stork.
Aye.
Ms. Vasquez Luna.
Aye.
Dr. Young.
I agree. That passes. Tackles the speech. Characteristics.
All right, are we ready? Good to go?
I think we're good to go. Well, I
Welcome.
mean, let's give Mr. Caratonis a moment to
Sure.
join us.
Thank you.
Every time I drive in on five, I find how two trains are.
So
Indeed. Are here.
I just want to take a moment and tee up this conversation for Min Chow to offer. We VRE completed the and opened the Quantico station.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Mr. Vice Chair.
Madam Chair, the VRE Operations Board certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge and with no individual member dissenting at the just concluded closed session, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements and the Freedom of Information Act were discussed, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened was heard, discussed, or considered.
We're a second.
Second.
Okay, Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
Ms. Bagley.
Yes.
Ms. Bailey.
Yes.
Ms. Franklin. Mr. Gordy. Ms. Hayes. Ms. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Karantonis.
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes.
Ms. Mincing.
Yes.
Ms. Robinson. Ms. Sizemore Heiser.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stork.
Yes.
Ms. Vasquez Luna.
Yes.
Dr. Young.
I agree. Okay, it's been properly approved, and so I would like to move forward in reading the resolution that was that we formally discussed. And I would like to entertain a motion for the approval of the settlement agreement and contract amendment for Quantico Station Improvements Contract.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, opposed?
Okay, abstain. Any abstention was because I don't believe that 4 months ago, I was in this room to know about this issue. It's absolutely, so, yeah, that's absolutely. Okay, the resolution was approved. Thank you very much. So we have come to the end of our meeting, and I'm going to have operations board members time, but I'm going to start with Ms. Kate Batiste from MDTC
Yeah.
with you because you had some. Are we good?
Do we want to make sure that's recorded? Because since there was opposition, typically we would then record that individually. Because I don't know if they identified the number in favor, opposed, and abstentions. So if you
Well,
have all that, that's great. I just want to be sure that we're.
Just a moment, please, just a moment. That's the reason why I had us take the vote. And so it was approved and there was 1 abstention and 2 against. So did you get that?
Yes,
Okay,
Madam Chair.
so are you?
Okay,
is that
we
good?
didn't vote individually, that's all. And so if you have it, that's great. I just want to
Yeah,
make sure that you have
She
that.
did.
Yes, I did.
So you good? Okay. So Kate, if you would, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to give an update, and I know the past chair mentioned something very briefly at the beginning of the meeting. There's 2 pieces of legislation in particular that were introduced this week in the General Assembly relating to funding of public transit. In particular, both of them include almost identical provisions to support VRE in its future needs, both now and as the Long Bridge. So I just wanted to draw your attention. They're intended to be one or the other, so they're somewhat moving in parallel paths. One was introduced by Delegate Tran. That is HB 1179. Her legislation mirrors the recommendations of Senator Edmund and Delegate Sickles, former Delegate Sickles, SJ 28. And so that envisions a major increase in the statewide transit fund that supports all of our transit properties across the Commonwealth, as well as creating dedicated transit funding in the NBTC and in the PRTC districts. Likewise, Delegate Sullivan has introduced HB 900. That bill actually looks to do statewide changes to the sales tax. You may have heard previously that former Delegate Sickles had that vision. Delegate Sullivan is the one that is patroning that bill. So that looks as actually lowering the overall sales tax rate within the Commonwealth of Virginia and expanding the coverage and I don't want to get into super details on that because I'm still getting to know that part of it. But in the transit space, likewise, it does a boost to actually the Commonwealth Transportation Fund, which helps as well as our the highway side. It does help the transit side. It also helps rail as well. That one does have near identical dedicated funding with almost identical levels of funding for NBTC and PRTC. So again, I just wanted you to be aware because I know I've briefed this board before on activities related to SJ 28. Both of these bills seek to address those. Both of them are moving on parallel paths. Lots more information will be coming out, but I just want to make you aware, sort of as a follow-up. I expect there's probably a lot more legislation related to VRE specifically, but on the funding, I did want to provide that. So thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you for offering the opportunity. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go this way around the horn. That's okay.
Yes,
You're happy about that?
yes, I am.
He's always first, so I think.
I'm always first. No, I'm teasing.
I'm gonna go this way. So,
Nothing.
you have anything? Welcome back. Yes.
Thank you again, Sarah, for everything you've done. Look forward to working with Ms. Bailey. Nothing else from me.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having me today. It's my first time here. Well, the last time was virtually. I'm looking forward to working with everybody. And I want to thank Vice Mayor Bagley for your service as chair and congratulate Chair Bailey on a great meeting. And for your incoming service. And like I said, I look forward to working with
Your name?
George Stewart. Oh, you know what? That's right. Right now, but you know, it used to be a horse.
I'm
Now
gonna
it's being-
explain that. I'm gonna explain that later. Mr. Chair, please.
Oh, it's so nice to see new members of this board. We are like a family. I've discovered
Thank you.
since I was inaugurated here a couple of weeks ago. So it's a great project to work, and you not only learn a lot about VRE, but you know a lot about yourself, and it's jurisdictional experience is literally an asset here. It's very, very important. It's a good thing that we have. But it's also great to know that people who sat on this desk are now in positions where we have to lobby them for from the Congress to the General Assembly. I mean, Ms. Franklin is there now in the General Assembly. That's absolutely great news, and it's a unique situation where literally every level or every single member of the General Assembly has had a relationship with this group here, and that's I think a unique situation that we need to take advantage of. So. Great first meeting, Madam Chair. We already thanked the Vice Mayor profusely for the work.
Yes.
A lot of change coming, and I think to the best.
Thank you so much. Ms. Holmes.
I just wanted to welcome our new members. It's already been done, but welcome. And if you all want to exchange members, I'm happy to do that after. Sometimes it's helpful to have people on speed dial. And thank you. Most recent, past chair Bagley, what do we call it? Anyway, immediate past chair Bagley.
Like that most
And-
recent.
Most recent, yes. And thank you, Chair Bailey. And I know, it's gonna be a
It's a good
thing, it's gonna be a
compliment,
thing. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, hopefully long weekend and happy MLK Day.
Great.
I'll start with my thanks to acting CEO Dallas Richardson and
Yes, thank you, sorry.
not only your service over the past many months, but your service to VRE and the leadership that you've shown in so many ways, and particularly for you and I, the VRE riding, bike riding piece of that, and looking forward to being there next year. But again, you and the team that you all have assembled, and the challenge, especially of the past year and especially the past couple of months. And I know we talked in the executive committee a little bit about it, and I know we talked a little bit about it here. The challenges, because they're going to be big, especially the next couple of months, as everybody gets readjusted to this new schedule. And as somebody who commutes into DC typically 1 or 2 days a week, it's a mess along the parkway now. So, and it's part of that. And so on the one hand, I'm excited to see that. On the other hand, it's like, oh my gosh, one more delay and parkway at 395, Long Bridge either. So and again, so thank you all very much. I want to thank you, former immediate past Chair Bagley, Chair Emeritus. I don't know. What are we doing here? But I know it was captured in your comments about the uniqueness of our board and the uniqueness of the various jurisdictions and kinds of jurisdictions and diversity of jurisdictions that we represent. And it truly is extraordinary. And I did not appreciate that my first couple of years here, how unusual that is. I mean, most of us are on lots of other boards, right? But this is very distinctive in that regard. And your comments earlier, I think, emphasize that. And just importantly, incredible year that we've had. And I think you've done an incredible job. And I love the way you said it, Chair Bailey, at the very beginning, when leadership was handed over, the opportunities, many opportunities and success that we had and really achieving the optimum in those opportunities. So again, thank you. Thank you, Chair Bailey, and looking forward to working with you and looking forward with the whole community.
Thank you so much. Ms. Rachna, I'm gonna come to you and then we'll work our way around.
Thank you. I am very excited to be here. It's my first meeting. I've lived by the VRE for many, many years. Two of the stations are in my district, so I'm very excited to have some more say in sort of what happens and better understanding, and really just to be here as a support to you as you do your work. And so thank you for the welcome. I look forward to working with all of you, and like you said, look forward to being part of the family. So, good idea.
Yes, thank you. I am not new. I've been on the VRE board for 4 years as an alternate and sometimes as a member, or sometimes we didn't make them, to be the member to having 2 individuals. But last year I was on 14 committees. And I know you mentioned that we do all this work, and several of them are regionals and usually get nominated, but I fought to be on the VRE this year and the PRTC. So for those newcomers, it's exciting, it's good work, good fellowship, and so I enjoy it every single year. So thank you for the welcome, and I appreciate being here and to do good work.
Congratulations, Madam Chair, and immediately past chair. Thank you for everything you did. I think it was a lot of progress in the last year, a lot of changes, but you did wonderful. I still don't know how you came to the meeting when, you were hurting literally. So thank you for, putting this board, staff and also, all the writers, first, even though, for other people, would have said, it was harder to put our priorities. But anyway, welcome to the new board members. I used to be the newbie. I've been here for a year. Yes. But I have to echo what Michael always say, and I'm sorry for using your first name, but he always says we have a great board and we come together regardless of the politics, and you don't see that in all other board. So as we go, I'm looking forward and meeting, talking, and continue to work together to give what's best to VRE. Chief Executive Officer, thank you for everything that you have done, not only for stepping up and doing the hard work through all this difficult transition, I will say, but at the same time for leading the staff. I know staff, looks up to you and the other leadership, and we have seen, I believe the most difficult week that we have had is this weekend. And, through that, we still are seeing improvements. To our writers, please know this is not our regular week. We have to make investments. We have to make changes in order to have better service for you. Don't quit on us. Don't give up on us. It's already better and it will continue to be better thanks to all the coordinated work. And, my ask is, that we all continue not only to market, but also to speak highly of the benefits of writing and the impact that that's had. And like you said, ma'am, I had to fight to be here too, so it is an honor to continue to serve. And as we start the new year with the changes, the only thing I see is that it will get better and that we will continue to increase our ridership. So thank you, everybody, for an amazing year, and I'm ready to do great work with each one of you.
Great. Dallas, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I may, this message is to the staff in the back of the room as much as the board members. I just want to thank you all for the opportunity and the trust you bestowed in me for the last 4 months. Which indeed left us in a good place, right? They left a staff that was safe and secure in what we were doing and allowed us to continue to doing it. But I just want to rattle off some of the accomplishments of this team in the last 4 months, right? If I may. There have been not a single fatality, accident, or incident on the railroad in 4 months, not one, and that is uncommon. I would argue that special trains are far more work than routine trains. We've had special trains for Tour de VRE, Clifton Day, our test trains, and all of our stand-up. When you get out of the routine, those things get more difficult, and this team did a great job putting that together. I especially want to thank Chris Henry, who was the glue that binds the operation together, so thank you, Chris. We stood up a new yard, first yard ever since 1992. We stood up a new train, 330, the first one in 10 years. We delivered the largest contract in VRE history in the O&M, $170 million. We delivered the largest construction contract in VRE history, $130 million for Alexandria. We had groundbreaking at Alexandria and a ribbon cutting at Vanessa's Park. My 4 months have been really good, and so have theirs. So thank you. I appreciate it. I look forward to the next 10 years or more, if you'll have me. So thank you again and appreciate it. All of you, especially.
We deserve it. Madam Esquire.
You guys have heard enough from me today, but I love the final note to sort of end on, which is at a time when sort of the safety and security of public transportation is a subject of conversation in this country. I think VRE continues to demonstrate how you are safer in public transportation. You are safe on a bus, you are safe on a train, you are safe on the metro. And so thank you for being part of that story. And then I wouldn't be an Alexandrian if I didn't invite you to a parade. So, on February 14th, we will have our George Washington's birthday parade. It is, I'm led to believe, the largest George Washington's birthday parade in the country. I don't know how many others there are, but we have the largest one. You are all welcome to join me. I understand Supervisor Stewart will be there. It's on the afternoon of February 14th from 2 to 4. It really is a great time. I tend to do it on my bike. for kicks. So look forward to seeing as many of you there as possible. And again, thank you all so much for your support this past year. And to Miss Bailey, who has been the most when it comes to support. I so appreciate her and the bond that we formed. And best of luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So to that, I got a few things that I would cover, but we're gonna make it on time. Number one is welcome to the new members of the board. I've rushed and I'm gonna start calling you by your formal names, but I have an affinity to you already, so I'm sorry. But I've seen you on TV, and to see you in person and see you in action, you're gonna be an excellent asset. And George, I sit next to George on our board. And so I'm so excited for us to work together in this opportunity as well. But you are more than welcome to this board. As Mike says all the time, it is a superlative board. It really is. We work in harmony to get the job done. Even when we disagree, we work in harmony. And so as your chair, I would like to continue to have that on the board. And I would encourage you to read your documents. I know how many times have you heard that, right? Read your documents and get to know your board members. That's important too. Relationships matter. That's important. And that is one of the reasons why I'm excited to be your chair. And to the returning members, you rock. We rock. What can I say? I will be contacting each one of you as we go forward. She and I talked, we were talking last night, right? But contacting each one of you, because what I want to do, and I'm trying to figure out how to do this, and I will depend on the executive staff to help me with, VRE staff to help me with this, because I want to know how you feel about the board. We say pretty words, but what is it that you want from the board? That's very important, other than the delineated projects that we're working on. And same thing with staff, building a stronger relationship there. Next week on Tuesday, we will be welcoming in a festive way our new CEO, Katie Cho. So if you can join, please do. Is that okay? Okay, if you can join, please do. Get a little card, shake a little hand, whatever that means. And what time is it, please?
Lunch is at noon.
At noon. Lunch is at noon, always at noon. Okay. So we'll get that out though. We'll get that out. The other thing is little small administrative glitches today, but change is inevitable. So when there's administrative glitches, I appreciate your graciousness in ignoring them. And then please come to me if it's something that I've missed, i.e. the name placards. But just so you'll know, when there's not a name placard, it's because the jurisdiction or the commission has not voted on who the returning person is going to be. So that's kind of what happened today. So to our new members, no disrespect, we're getting there, okay? I want to say that. And then as your chair, so you'll know, I work strategically, but I like to have fun in what I do. So that's important too, because everybody sitting at this table, we work hard. Everyone in this room, we work hard. And so it's important that we share good times as well as we work hard. So with that, without objection, this meeting is adjourned.
Wow.
All right.
That's
There
it.
you go. That was that.
Pretty exact there.
Wow.